Welcome back to the Brandon K Show. I'm your host, as always, Brandon K, and this is a real show. We're here today to talk about children are the future. I'm here today with my friend Crow. Crow gave me the idea for this topic.
Hello, everyone. I'm Crow. Nice to meet you.
Crow is a tattoo artist in Orange County, and where else?
I'm in also in Fort Irwin and all over the states when I do travel.
We connected on Instagram, and he wanted to be on the show because he saw what I was doing. And even before I had my first episode, Crow wanted to be on the show, and we came up with this topic. After that, we got together one time. I let him do this tattoo on me. This awesome tattoo of the caterpillar. Sorry, this awesome tattoo of the caterpillar from Alice in Wonderland.
Nice.
Did such an awesome job.
Oh, man. Thank you, man. That was such a fun project, man. I had a lot of fun.
And we have some of your other art we can show you. Yeah, we got this one.
That's Vive Memor Leti Fugit Ora, which means or translates to live mindful of death. The hour flies.
Mindful
wow.
of death.
The hour flies. Yep.
So the person who got that, what were they thinking when they came in? What did they tell you? Were they in a certain frame of mind or what?
Yeah, they're in a very in a mood where they're ready to challenge themselves, to come out of like I guess darkness or depression or something.
Wow.
They had a bit of a funk, but they were getting out of that.
Yeah, it's beautiful work.
Thank you.
That's a topic I'm going to have on the show in a little while is death. But I like that mindful of death, because death is, we all have to acknowledge that death is a part of life.
We all gotta perish, right? We're all gonna leave one day.
So, but being mindful of death helps you live even to a greater extent.
Right. Yeah, it helps you to live mindful, right?
What was the last part of the?
So it's the saying is live mindful of death, the hour flies.
The hour flies. I don't understand. Oh, like
Time
time
passes.
passes fast.
Yeah, before you know it, man, years have gone by.
That's a dope tattoo. You did a great job, and whoever has that tattoo, it looks really cool.
Yeah, and we hope you live up to it.
Right? Yeah, get it, brother.
What's the next one? Tattoo. Let's see.
This is a couple showing two different legs here.
Yeah, it's a leg sleeve. That's on my friend Natalia. That's Amor Eterno, it says on the bottom. That's like it's almost the same, not the same, but kind of a touch on life and death, the relationship between each other. Oh, it's an eternal love, right?
So this is the same girl, two different legs or what?
Same girl, same leg. Yeah, it's all part of one big piece.
Oh, we're seeing the front and the back or what?
Yeah.
It's a huge piece. Yeah.
Got it. Okay, that's what I'm trying to figure out.
Awesome. That one is really skilled. Really, really cool.
Oh, thank you, man. I really appreciate that kind of work.
Look, that looks exactly like a beautiful woman and a skeleton. I mean, that butterfly, you get everything perfect on there, man.
Thank you, brother. Yeah, it's a little mix up of life and death. And then you got the Katrina, which is the beauty of death, She's shown off as La Muerte, I guess is what some call her. It's like a Day of the Dead style tattoo. And with the skeleton, you got like, the guy who's in love with life, even though he's dead.
Ah. Nice.
This next one is the one that made me realize you could do my tattoo. This is the Pokemons.
Yeah, those Pokemon, man.
Yeah.
Cool little
Wow.
dudes right there, huh?
How in love do you have to be with Pokemon?
Man, some people really grow up with that. It reminds me of the Power Rangers era.
Yeah.
Pokemon's the new Power Rangers, I guess.
Wow.
So we'll get into more about how now you're teaching kids art. I wanted to let everyone know that you're a tattoo artist, and our topic today is children. Children are the future. On that note, I want to talk about our sponsor, Giftiply. They help the kids at their one of theirs is Give Kids the World. So the Brandon K Show is brought to you by Giftiply charity wrapping paper. Flat packed for convenience, eco-friendly, and made in America. Each purchase includes 33% donation to one of 8 incredible causes.
Awesome.
This one was the suicide prevention. They got Give Kids the World, Alex's Lemonade Stand for childhood cancer, It Gets Better Project, Best Friends Animal Society, and more. So yeah, there it is up on the screen. Elevate your gift giving throughout the year with Giftiply charity wrapping, where every wrap is a gift to charity. Utilize coupon code BKSHOW at checkout to save 25% off your entire order. Thank you again, Giftiply.
Thank you. Giftiply.
I had the co-founders on last week. They did a really good job.
Oh, really? That's awesome, man.
Those are
Oh, that's good for them.
my friends. Yeah,
There you go. It's good to have good friends around you, man.
Absolutely.
positive friends doing positive things.
You know what? That's how we can get bigger and better at doing these things, you know? It's easier.
Yeah, and that's why like I wanted you on the show to talk about helping kids because not everyone's out there doing charity, doing helping kids. So I wanted to know why you wanted to do that and tell us more about why children are the future.
Okay. Yeah, firstly, I always wanted to help people out. I always wanted to kind of be generous, give out charity. I don't have a lot of money, so that's out of the question. It's like helping out people with a little change here, change there. Like that's cool and all, but to help out like a community and like where could I help? Where could I be best of service? Is I think it's being there with the kids. Maybe not like toddlers or anything like that. I probably couldn't do that, but children who are like elementary, high school ages, like it's fun. It's fun to like interact with them. It's fun to like teach them how to kind of get at life, on their own. And so my whole thing with this was how can I give back based on my experience and what I know? How can I give back to the community of children, who are going to be our future? And
So you do the art class at the elementary in Garden Grove. You volunteer like it's also a Buddhist temple. It's an elementary school or it's a
uh,
Buddhist temple.
you know what? It's a group of Buddhist people who live in a home. They all live in a home, maybe as a collective. I'm not too sure.
Mhm.
It serves as a temple, a small temple. We call it like a humble temple. Um, I came about them because I was doing deliveries on my time off when I was off tattooing. I was doing just deliveries, bro, and so I was delivering packages to these people at this address, and I came to meet a monk, and this monk, his name's James Vu. He's passed on, but
Hmm.
um, I gained such a good like relationship with him, like a good vibe off him, and he did the same with me. Um, we just kind of created a bond because I was there so many times, like almost every week. I'd be there to drop off his things that he was sending over to Vietnam, I believe, like vitamins, things that people need out there. So he was basically being like an example, a role model for me to see how it is to better help or better serve people that are in need, like communities. That's what he called it. He's
Mhm.
like, this is for the community. So it always just stuck to me as in like, oh, okay, cool. Like that's something I would like to do, but well, who is my community?
And
So
he was sending stuff back to Vietnam, and then did they do other stuff at the Buddhist temple, like for kids
oh
or
yeah,
for
yeah. So at this Buddhist temple, they started hosting or having a after care school program
Mhm.
where they pick up the kids or they have the kids dropped off by the parents or whatever. After school, of course, once school's over, they bring them over to the temple and they have a little setup for them with tables and they'll provide food and basically about two or three people help the kids out with like reading their homework, just to get things done and they watch over them while parents are
It's
probably
just like
working.
mentorship, tutoring, stuff
Yeah,
like that.
yeah,
Yeah.
just basic stuff like
From the
an aftercare school program.
from the Buddhists,
Yeah, from the Buddhist,
like
people.
people, yeah,
Yeah, they have a
who
few people in charge, so
who live there full time.
mhm.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Do they wear the orange?
Yeah, they wear the whole garb. It's,
Yeah.
they mostly wear gray. I don't
Mm.
know if it's like an apprenticeship thing or something where you're being of service. I don't know what the colors mean, but they
Where's
mean
the temple
something.
at?
The temple's in Garden Grove
Oh,
off of,
Garden Grove. Okay.
yeah, Brookhurst and Hazard.
Okay.
It's just a little home, and I came upon it by chance, which is a real blessing. It was, really cool to just have good people around you.
So as far as even getting started with him, like what is your advice for people who want to help and how do they, get a program started basically? Just ask around?
Okay, so, for me, I the way I went about doing it was, trying to involve myself with groups to help people out just to get the experience. But ultimately, I think what I learned, well, once I got the experience and I'm like, okay, I could do this on my own. I actually just learned that you can do it yourself. Start off small with whatever you can provide or afford. Afford by financially or with time or just your presence and just putting the effort in. to just get these things done. Like find out what material you need, where do you need to be at, and who you need to help, and go from there. Just started up from there. After I did that, I started kind of documenting, taking pictures, and sharing them with people. And
And
then little by little, I started asking for donations. Like, hey, could you help?
yeah.
And so I'm using that just kind of as an example. I'm thinking of later coming on to like maybe getting government assistance
Mm.
or investors. Yeah,
Starting a
start a nonprofit or
nonprofit,
something.
yeah.
You know.
Do you have a background in art? Like, how'd you learn to draw?
So ever since a little kid, I was always drawing. My dad would always draw and paint and create, and so I picked up a lot from him, and also watching cartoons.
Ah,
Watching cartoons, dude, like comic books and all that, and just
That's
drawing.
awesome.
And back in the day, you didn't have tablets, and so you didn't have all this electronic stuff, that could distract you. I mean, we did though,
Mhm.
but sometimes you'd spend a lot of time at home just drawing.
and so in teaching the kids, you're teaching them by hand. You're not doing digital stuff.
Yeah, no digital stuff. We're just doing just basic stuff,
Got it.
like yeah,
Got it.
stuff that I can provide. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Nice.
Yeah.
Now your other cool thing you did was the Boys Republic in Chino, and those are more like kids who are in need of help?
Yeah, yeah. So a lot of these kids, they got in trouble in the streets. These kids are already kind of going through the wrong path. I don't want. I say kind of because sometimes that's just kind of the path you're on.
Mhm.
Sometimes you can't really change that. For some. And so me and a couple of friends that have been through our own trouble with the streets and stuff, but we've now grown up out of it, or we know our value in that group of people who need us for like mentorship. Maybe they
Nice.
need us to talk to them or just kind of give them advice, guide them a bit.
Yeah, what do you tell these kids that could be helpful? What I know you went in there and spoke to them. What do you say?
So, when I went in and spoke to them, and this is like it came from the heart. I basically spoke to them about the realities of what there is that they're involved in, as far as like whether it was gangs or kind of more, not the gang, but more your own mentality. Like I remember when I was a kid that I was going through these gang days, my gang eras, where I had this ideology, like I had this perspective on life that, like, hey, this is the way life is. This is all there is to life. I'm gonna just give my all into this. You know?
And you gotta hear something different to get out of it.
Yeah,
You
you
gotta
know
hear
what I
that
mean?
positive message to
Yeah,
know that
it's
there's something better out there for you.
exactly like, hey, you can't give up. You can't stay stuck in that negativity or just, you know what I'm saying? Just following that route that's not gonna bring you much.
These are teenagers already who have already been into, done, gotten in trouble?
Yeah, so the court deemed them fit to be housed in these areas in that group home, and it's to get them back either into society. Maybe they don't have parents that are taking care of them, helping them. So these kids are pretty much at risk.
Yeah. So even, when you're working with charities or, um on your Instagram, spreading positive messages on underscore crow tats underscore, I'm watching you on there all the time. You talk about creating strong communities. We were almost going to call this episode communities, but like, yeah, talk about, how do we create strong communities around us?
Man, I think that I grew up in Santa Ana, California, dude, and like when I was growing up, man, like you had all the gangs and all that the stuff that's the negative, I guess, or the things that just happen out in the communities. But you also had a lot of like community events, programs, activities, things that kind of like get you more involved in like what's around you. So I'd play a lot of sports. I'd get into like choir. I get into all these things, art classes, whatever. Have all this stuff that was available to me, and I was taking advantage of. But I always felt like this friendly vibe in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
Like regardless, even though that stuff was going on.
Hmm.
So I feel like in order for us to build strong communities, we'd have to like build these bonds, with each other. You know.
How, like, to me, my answer would be like to realize that we're not that different. The old man in the neighborhood is not that much different than the young guy in the community causing crimes. But so there's like connecting and seeing our similarities. But what would you say about, how do we connect with everybody like in that way?
Man, I think a lot of it has to do with personal development, right? Or not, or just being very introverted and kind of running a check on yourself. like what your state of mind is, your state of health. Like a lot of that has to do with how you treat other people, how you treat yourself, you treat others.
Or like kinda like a sense of isolation, like, you think that you're alone. Somebody who's more likely to get into trouble, they think that they're alone, they think that they don't have any hope, but then seeing that, there's hope all around us.
Yeah, I think there's that person, that gets shut out, that gets hurt, that just starts, messing around, feeling isolated, shunned from like society. I feel
Mhm.
like if they have that confidence of like, hey, I'm not being judged. I'm really trying to get out of this. I'm really trying to get back in society.
Yeah.
It's very welcoming here. They help me out. I really want to get out of this. I really need that help.
Yeah, so
Making people feel comfortable. Maybe not judging them as harshly.
even, like, if you're not giving them money or giving them food, like, you just give them friendly words of encouragement and let them know, that you care about them.
Yeah. They say a hug goes
Mhm.
a long way. Even
Mhm.
shaking someone's hand, or looking them in the eye,
Mhm.
giving them that like, hey, that little bit of respect,
Yeah.
or more than respect. I think
Yeah.
that goes a long way.
Some of these kids, they just need a hug.
Yeah, dude.
It's
Some
like
encouragement.
Aw. Uh,
Yeah.
uh,
Sometimes, I mean, it's true. We can laugh at our pain, because sometimes haven't you ever been in that place where you've been whining so much? You're like, man, my life's so bad. My life's like just it's not going the way I want it to go, right? And you're just whining, 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 and then you kind of need someone, stranger maybe, someone that'll just laugh at you and like, hey man, what are you crying about? And then they give you that pity, they give you that like love, that like vote of confidence, and you're like, shit, I didn't really need. I was just being a little whiner, dude. I just
yeah.
needed to get out of my head.
Yeah, they help put your life in perspective too.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
You need those people to shake you up sometimes,
yeah.
and
To me, it was always about feeling misunderstood.
mm-hmm.
So it's like, oh, nobody understands. So boo hoo,
Yeah,
self pity.
self pity,
Yeah,
feeling the victim.
and then I'm gonna lash out, and
Yeah.
sometimes I'm gonna go, try to get attention, by doing bad things.
Yeah, yeah. It's like it's such a like a frequency to be in, right? Like you're just in that negative like mindset where you're like, I'm the victim, nobody understands. I'm gonna start causing harm. Or yeah, I'm gonna or not harm, or I'm just gonna do something that's gonna get me attention, which is
I try
bad.
to live my life and make these shows to let people know that somebody understands them,
Uh-huh.
because I want to put that message into the world. It's like I understand. I mean, I can forgive pretty much anything somebody does, and I've probably been through it myself or know someone who's been through it myself. Have a friend who's done the same thing that you're ashamed of, or that you feel misunderstood about. Like, so. I think understanding and forgiveness are very much what start communities, or what grow communities.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I agree with you. It's like there's so many like core little things that are of so much value that if we use these tools to like help serve each other,
Hmm.
it would help, build a better communities, man. Like just solid communities that, there's somebody talking down or being negative about something, other people, like people that are around them would understand, like, okay, this isn't like this person's a bad person. It's more like this person's in a negative frequency, where they're just operating in a negative way. So
Hmm.
what we gotta do is kind of get them out of that negativeness.
A glass half empty.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Do
Yeah.
you, do you have any cool stories about, like, helping someone turn their attitude around, or
Um,
specifically like a friend or a kid or anything like that?
You know what? I just got reconnected with a longtime friend that man, I was going through some really bad things, like we were roommates, but we kind of got disbanded, and he has a son and a daughter. When we were together as roommates, I didn't realize this, man, but we were there, I guess, helping each other, live our lives. But um, I think just being a kind person, right, will kind of will show. It's like if you do something kind, dude, and you don't realize it later on in life, you're gonna see that fruit, that grew from that.
Hmm.
I have a friend, yeah, who I was roommates with. I was going through my stuff, but we were helping each other out. I It's already been like 20 years, dude. He thanked me. He's like, "Hey, man, if you wouldn't have helped me with with rent or with having a place to stay,
Mhm.
I wouldn't have been able to be a father to my kids.
I'm
And I thought
sure.
that was such a compliment that I was like, "What do you mean, bro? Like, wow, that's big, bro."
Mhm.
Like if I had somebody helping me, or have I do have people helping me with my, my situation with my kids, it's
Yeah.
like, man, I know what great how great that is,
I'm
for
sure,
someone.
man. I'm sure putting positivity into the world and you get it back.
You do get it
My
back.
my aunt said to me yesterday, "Life's a mirror. You get
Mm,
back what you put into it." And I
definitely.
tend to agree with that. I wrote down another piece of advice you said on I heard you say, which is be kind yet brave enough to stand up to life's obstacles.
Yeah, man.
That's good advice for the kids when they're going to be facing lots of challenges. We all face challenges, and it's like, but you got to be brave to stand up to them and know that there's solutions and seek solutions.
Yeah, it's like with all this work that we have to put in to better our life, and sometimes things don't seem to be going the way that we want them to, we'll give up, we'll give up, we'll get bratty, we get tired, we get irritated, we don't put in our best, or we don't put out our best. So it's just a reminder to like be kind, even in those moments where you're like, I don't even feel kind,
Mhm.
I just don't feel it. Just, do it.
And another one that we talked about here on the show with Solomon and Luis was be authentic. You and I agree on that one. We
Absolutely.
we got to be authentic. That's why we don't feel understood sometimes. Is we're not being our authentic selves. Maybe.
Yeah, definitely, man. I think that's the ultimate goal right there, is to be authentic. And the only way you can be authentic is to really, really honestly, like, I guess, be yourself at the
Yeah.
core.
It
It's
starts
just
on the inside,
that's it.
right?
Yeah, it's on the inside. So
Put your full self out there.
yeah, it's like,
Even though it's
dig
hard
in.
because we're gonna get judged, and it's gonna be a
Oh
fear to
yeah.
put ourselves out there, especially when we're young.
Especially when we're young. We think
Mhm.
we have to be a certain way. And maybe at that moment we needed that as an example to kind of follow, so we don't stray. But man, I think at the core you have to be authentic, because that's what shines. That's what glows. That's what gives you your specialty, your power.
Yeah, and part of that is resisting social media too,
Mm.
because people get in there and they get so involved with like like trying to compare themselves to other people and things like that, and it makes you feel bad about yourself because you're not this perfect person which you see on the screen, and they're not perfect either. They're just showing you that.
We
Yeah,
al
they
yeah,
are.
we
Yeah.
also see somebody who might have put a lot of work and time and effort into something, and we judge ourselves based on them, and
Right.
like, "Oh, I should be there," but it's like they put 5 years into it already, and
Right. Or people who work
we're
out 3 times a day and have a
Mhm.
six-pack abs and go, "Why can't I have
Yeah,
that as you eat
right.
your cheeseburger?" Right?
Seriously, yeah,
I do that all the time.
me too, man. It weighs us all down, right?
You're in the gym. I see you.
Yeah, dude.
How's that going?
It's been going really great, man. I've been in the gym. I've been dedicating that time to the gym. Um,
Did you just get back into it, or have you always been into it?
you know what? When I say get in the gym, I guess it's that mentality of like, okay, you gotta understand that.
Sorry, that wasn't that one was on accident.
Yeah.
Go on.
But no, the gym sucks, man.
That's all
It's
our
hard.
jealousy.
Yeah,
We're
right.
jealous of you.
I think that being in the gym isn't like it's like you need that patience to understand, like, you're gonna be tired, dude. You're not gonna be consistent. Doesn't mean that you shouldn't try to be consistent. You gotta push yourself. You gotta really do this thing that's gonna make you feel like it's too much, but it's also gonna make you feel like it's not, like you're gonna come to realize that, damn, I'm better, I'm
I've
stronger.
I've learned to be pushing myself at the gym, and like I spent teenage years, early 20s like never hitting the gym, in front of the TV. It's just such a positive thing that we avoid unless you get in the habit of it. And once I got in the habit of it, it's more enjoyable and it feels good. But, I'm sure there's lots of people out there who just haven't even picked up the first weight yet,
Yeah,
it just starts with that first weight. Is my
yeah, I think so too, right? Like, or that vision of like, okay, this is the goal, this is where I want to be at.
Mhm.
And you just start looking at yourself different, like maybe it's not having a lot of muscle, but maybe it's just being able to pick that rock up and toss it,
Mhm. Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
far, you know
Walk
what I
around the
mean?
block.
Walk
When
around the
when I
block, not
was
get tired.
100
Yeah.
pounds overweight, it all starts with, walking around the block.
Yeah.
So, I started to see things as like that,
Yeah.
starting small.
Yep.
Well, I wanna have you on again soon to talk about your whole story, how you've overcome, the fears and the challenges. So we'll have you on soon for that.
That's awesome, man. Thank you for having me, brother.
You're gonna check out Crow's Tats on Instagram. You offer tattoos. I mean, your services are available.
Yeah, they're available to the public. At the moment, I'm sharing time with Fort Irwin in California, which is a army base.
Hmm.
I'm working for a tattoo shop who is contracted with the military to have their shops in the AFI buildings. So the malls that are inside these army bases, you know.
If someone wants a tattoo, would they meet you in Costa Mesa or somewhere else?
They could hit me up on my Instagram
Yeah, and
so that
figure
we
out
could
where.
coordinate where I'm gonna be at.
Yeah.
Mostly I do stay in Costa Mesa. I'm at
Look at all
Newport.
that cool
Yeah,
art. Oh
yeah, it's a
yeah.
lot of cool
Ooh, I
stuff.
like the little peanut man.
Oh, that machine gun right there, that gun right there. I was in a music video, a rap
Yeah,
music video. So we'll talk about that.
let's talk about that one later. We'll pull that picture up. That looks awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So I wanted to tell you where to find you. I wanted to thank Giftiply again. Awesome
Yeah,
paper for a good cause. And stay tuned for more Brandon K Show. Like and subscribe. And we're gonna have videos every day in March. So subscribe now. I'm gonna be doing a lot of fun stuff in March, including awesome guests, positive topics like this one. Crow will be on in March. Um, and Beatles best bangers too. So that was a fun one. I got my friends in to do some music, and another friend's coming in to do some music. Bryce with some musical improv. That's gonna be super awesome. Stay tuned. Subscribe now. Giving you my all. Go subscribe. Thank you.
thank you guys.